France. You know, it's funny. It feels like more than just a country sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely got this allure, hasn't it, for centuries.
Totally. I mean, you think of the art, the food, the history. It's all there.
And the sheer variety. Like you said, mountains, vineyards, cities, coasts.
It's incredible, which is why people keep going back, I guess. It's a tough destination.
It really is. And that's kind of what we're digging into today, right? Trying to get past the cliches.
Exactly. Because the reality is just so much richer.
So for this deep dive, we've got some interesting stuff to work with.
Yeah, you shared that YouTube transcript. It's got some great, surprising facts, iconic spots, even some hidden gem villages.
And then there's the article giving us that broader picture, the history and culture.
So the plan is basically to pull out the most fascinating bits from all that.
Yeah, go beyond the usual tourist snaps. Give you a real feel for what makes France, well, France.
Get into the stories behind it all.
Exactly. A bit more depth than just a guidebook.
Right. Not just ticking boxes. We want to understand why these places and things matter.
What they tell us about the country.
Okay, let's dive in. Those French curiosities from the YouTube source first.
Sounds good.
The baguette. Okay, 10 billion a year. That number just floored me.
It's staggering, isn't it? But it really shows you how central bread is. The baguette, especially.
It's not just food. It's like an institution.
Totally. That daily trip to the boulangerie, the whole ritual, is woven into life.
And they have actual rules about how to make it.
Yeah, which speaks volumes about national pride in something so simple, right?
Definitely. Okay, moving up in scale a bit, the Louvre.
Ah, the Louvre. World's most visited.
Over 35,000 works on display. And, the Mona Lisa, why is it so popular?
Well, its history is France's history, starting as a palace, and the collection.
Wow! It's not just French art either?
No, it's global. Ancient Egypt, Renaissance masters. It's a journey through human creativity.
So the Mona Lisa draws people in, but there's so much more.
Exactly. It's this universal draw of art and history. And France is this major hub for it.
A custodian of culture. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch gears. The Tour de France.
Since 1903. Quite the history.
It's obviously this intense sporting event, but the source mentioned it's also like a rolling advert for the French landscape.
It really is. You see the Pyrenees, the Alps, ending on the Champs-Élysées. It showcases the country's beauty.
So it connects people to the land.
Yeah, and it's such a long-standing tradition. It's part of the national identity, a shared experience.
It's about the struggle, the endurance, but also just France itself.
Precisely.
Now, this number was wild, too. Over 40,000 castles and ruins.
Incredible, isn't it? Scattered all over.
That's just history you can touch.
Exactly. Each one tells a story, right? Different eras, different struggles. It's a physical link to the past.
A constant reminder of France's long, often dramatic history.
Etched right into the landscape.
Okay, and you can't talk France without wine. Burgundy, Bordeaux.
The big names. Institutions, really, for wine lovers.
Why are they so revered globally? What's the secret?
Well, it's a mix. Built up over centuries. You've got the unique terroir, the soil, the climate.
Right, that specific environment.
Exactly. Plus, generations of know-how, that tradition of making it, and just a real commitment to quality.
So they set the standard, basically.
Pretty much. Nature, history, expertise, all coming together.
Okay, this one still gets me. The Statue of Liberty, a gift from France.
Yeah. Designed by Bartholdi, engineered by Eiffel.
The guy who did the tower.
The very same. It's a powerful symbol of that Franco-American connection, those shared ideals.
Commemorating the alliance during the revolution.
Right. It shows how even iconic symbols have these complex international roots.
And speaking of French engineering, the TGV.
Ah, the high-speed train.
Yeah.
Kicked off in the 80s.
Reaching speeds up to 320 kilometers an hour, that must have just shrunk the country.
Oh, absolutely. Made travel between big cities way easier. Huge boost for business, for tourism.
A real leap in technology.
Definitely. A great example of French innovation impacting daily life, connecting regions like never before.
Okay, French food, gastronomy. We know the cliche baguettes, cheese.
There's more to it, though.
Right, the Michelin Guide. The fact that it's the global standard says a lot, doesn't it?
It really does. Their whole inspection process, being anonymous and rigorous, it gives them credibility.
And so many starred restaurants across France.
It just shows this national dedication to cooking as an art form, from fancy places to local bistros.
A real appreciation for food. And finally, the language itself. French.
The language of diplomacy for centuries.
Still a UN official language, still important internationally.
Yeah, its influence was massive in shaping treaties and talks. English is maybe more dominant now, but French is still vital in many organizations.
And spoken all over the world. A lasting cultural reach.
Absolutely.
Okay, part 2. Let's actually journey through some of these iconic places,
Wow.
starting with Corsica.
Corsica, yeah. The island of beauty.
It sounds incredible. Stunning landscapes, that mix of French and Italian culture.
And Napoleon's birthplace, Ajaccio.
That's quite a combination.
It gives Corsica a really distinct identity within France. Its history, being ruled by Genoa for a time, you feel it in the language. The food.
So it's French, but different.
Exactly. Wild nature meets this complex cultural history. And Napoleon looms large, of course.
Next up, the Verdun Gorges, the Grand Canyon of Europe.
Wow. Those turquoise waters, the huge canyon.
Sounds like an adventure spot, climbing, rafting.
Definitely. But then you've also got Moustier-Sainte-Marie nearby.
Oh yeah, the village famous for ceramics.
Right, so you get this contrast, the raw power of nature in the gorge, and then this traditional artisanal culture in the village.
That's the kind of mix that makes exploring France interesting, isn't it?
Totally. The grand and the intimate, side by side.
Okay, heading to the mountains. Chamonix Mont Blanc.
The Alps, just incredible views of Mont Blanc.
Year-round appeal, right. Skiing in winter, hiking in summer.
And that Aiguille du Midi cable car. The panoramic views are supposed to be unreal.
A place steeped in mountaineering history, too.
Absolutely. It embodies that spirit of adventure. It's where
Yeah.
pioneers made their names, and it still draws people seeking that thrill, that beauty.
The scale of it must be breathtaking.
Connects you to the sheer power of nature.
Ah, Provence. The name alone.
Lavender fields, right?
Instantly. Lavender, sunshine, those colorful markets, like stepping into a painting.
It really captures that south of France dream.
Yeah.
The light there is famous for inspiring artists.
Van Gogh, Cézanne.
Exactly. And the villages of Saint-Remy, Gourds, they're just dripping with charm. Plus the food, olive oils, wines.
It's a full sensory experience.
Totally. Beauty, art, flavor, it's all there.
Okay, shifting southwest now. The Dune de Pilat and Aquitaine.
Europe's tallest sand dune. That's pretty unique.
Yeah, 110 meters high. Views over the Atlantic, pine forests.
A really distinct landscape.
Yeah.
And it's the gateway to Aquitaine.
Which offers a lot, doesn't it? Great food, pirates for surfing.
Saint-Emilion for wine lovers. It's a region of real contrasts.
From coastal dunes to vineyards.
And the glamour of Biarritz versus the, ancient wine traditions. A real mix.
Alsace next. Sounds almost like a fairy tale.
Colorful villages, medieval castles, cobblestones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has that feel.
And that interesting blend of French and German culture.
You really see it in the architecture, sometimes the language, definitely the food. Being a border region shapes its identity.
The Christmas markets in Strasbourg and Colmar are famous too.
Oh yeah, legendary. And the Route des Vins for white wine.
And hearty food like choucroute. Sounds enchanting.
It really is, very picturesque.
Normandy. This place feels heavy with history, but also beautiful landscapes.
Definitely. The D-Day beaches are incredibly poignant.
A powerful connection to WWII.
But then you also have the dramatic white cliffs at Etretat.
Which Monet painted.
Exactly. And inland, those green meadows, apple orchards for cider.
And the cheeses, Camembert, Neufchâtel.
Iconic.
Yeah.
So it's a region where history, natural beauty, and great food all come together.
Remembrance and beauty intertwined.
Well put.
Brittany. Land of myths and legends, the source called it.
It has that feel, doesn't it? Wild coastlines, strong Celtic roots.
You can picture the rocky shores, the lighthouses, the fishing villages.
And they really hold on to their distinct culture, the music, the dance festivals. It feels different from other parts of France.
Plus, Breton crepe.
Can't forget the crepes. It feels ancient somehow. The sea and the past feel very present there.
Strasbourg again, but focusing on the city itself. Capital of Alsace, home to European institutions.
So it's this mix of old and new. You've got La Petite France.
With the canals and timber-framed houses looking super historic.
Right, but it's also a modern European hub, which gives it this dynamic international vibe.
And that incredible cathedral.
A masterpiece. It really symbolizes the city's long history and its modern importance.
Mont Saint-Michel. This place just looks magical.
It really does. That island changing with the tides.
Crowned by the Abbey. Connected by that narrow road only at low tide.
The whole thing is an architectural marvel. And the way the landscape transforms around it is just dramatic.
A testament to medieval builders.
And faith, I suppose. Plus, the views are meant to be
Oh,
stunning.
yeah. We touched on food, but it's the gastronomic capital.
Its reputation is well-earned, long tradition of amazing chefs, great ingredients.
But the city itself sounds fascinating, too. History, culture, those trabous.
Yeah, the secret passageways in the old town Vieux-Lyon, remnants of its silk-making past.
So you have Roman ruins, Renaissance buildings, and then modern districts like Confluence.
It's a really rich urban tapestry,
Yeah.
and those traditional bouchon restaurants are a must-try.
For local specialties, Canal Tarte Praline, my mouth is watering.
Mine too.
Okay, the Loire Valley, the Garden of France.
Famous for its chateau, Chambord, Chenonceau, just stunning castles everywhere.
Reflecting that era of French royalty.
Absolutely, a golden age of architecture and power. The whole landscape feels elegant.
Vineyards, picturesque villages.
And Leonardo da Vinci spent his last years there, in Amboise.
Wow, really? At the Château de Clos-Lucé.
Yeah, adds another layer to its cultural importance. It's a region of beauty, refinement, history.
The French Riviera, Côte d'Azur. That sounds like pure glamour.
It definitely has that reputation. Nice. Cannes, Saint-Tropez, Monaco.
Nice with the Promenade des Anglais, Cannes with the film festival.
Saint-Tropez with the yachts, Monaco with the casino and Formula One.
It's dazzling, high-octane stuff.
It is. But it's also been a magnet for artists for ages, drawn by the light and the coast. Cities like Nice have real history and art scenes too.
So it's not just about the glitz.
Not entirely, there's culture beneath the surface.
Bordeaux, wine capital, no arguments there.
Undisputed. And the city itself is a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Elegant architecture, neoclassical squares, long boulevards.
Reflects its history as a major port, built on the wine trade.
But it's modern too. Galleries, the Cité du Vin.
Yeah, it's dynamic, embraces its history, but also contemporary culture and food, lively markets, great bistros along the river.
Sounds like a great place to just wander and taste.
Definitely.
And then Paris, the City of Lights.
Where do you even start?
I know. Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame, Louvre, Montmartre.
Yeah.
The icons are endless.
It embodies so much history, art, romance, culture.
And each neighborhood, each arrondissement has its own feel, right? The Marais, Montmartre.
Completely. From historic charm to bohemian vibes. It's a city you can explore forever and still find new things.
A global icon for a reason.
No doubt.
And just outside Paris, Versailles.
The palace. Just, wow, peak Baroque architecture.
Started as a hunting lodge, then Louis XIV turned it into this symbol of absolute power.
Exactly. It was designed to impress, to project power. The Hall of Mirrors, the gardens, pure opulence.
A glimpse into that world of the monarchy.
And a major site for historical events, treaties signed there and everything.
Okay, wow. That covers the big hitters. But the YouTube source also highlighted some incredibly charming villages. Let's get into those.
Yeah, the more intimate side of France.
Starting back in Alsace with Riquerer.
Oh, beautiful. Those fortified walls, the colorful half-timbered houses.
Sounds perfectly preserved, like stepping back in time.
It really does. And being in the heart of the wine region, with great food and those festivals, especially Christmas,
Must be magical at Christmas.
I bet. A real Alsatian gem.
Then Conques in Aveyron, famous for its abbey.
The Abbey Saint-Foy, yeah. Romanesque architecture, amazing sculptures, treasures.
And it's a major stop on the pilgrimage route, the Way of St. James.
Right, which gives it this really special, serene atmosphere. History and spirituality combined.
Colmar, also in Alsace. Venice.
Because of the canals, yeah. And again, those super colorful half-timbered buildings.
Capital of Alsace wines, too. So cozy wine cellars, festivals.
Sounds like a great base for exploring the wine route. A blend of city charm and vineyard access.
Gordes in Provence. That quintessential hill-pop village.
Made of limestone, perched up high, overlooking the Luberon Valley. Stunning.
Narrow streets, galleries, and close to the Sennac Abbey.
Yeah, the one with the famous lavender fields right in front of it. Doesn't get more Provençal than that.
Truly iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Annecy, Venice of the Alps.
Another water meets mountains beauty. Canals, stone streets.
And Lake Annecy is supposed to be incredibly clean.
One of the cleanest in Europe, they say. And that Palais de Lille, the castle on the island in the canal.
So unique, a 12th century castle museum.
Really distinctive. The whole setting, lake, mountains, charming old town sounds breathtaking.
Ace on the Riviera, but a medieval village perched high up.
Dramatically so, between the sky and the sea, as they say.
Stone houses clinging to the cliff, narrow streets, and that exotic garden.
Yeah, with rare plants and sculptures, and apparently views all the way to Corsica on a clear day.
Wow, sounds like a place of intense beauty.
And history woven to the stones.
Yvetoire on Lake Geneva, another medieval gem.
Fortified walls right on the lakeshore, beautifully preserved.
And it has a garden of 5 senses.
Inspired by medieval gardens, apparently. Meant to be an interactive experience.
Sounds lovely. Lake views, mountain backdrop, very serene.
Picture perfect.
Cremade back in Provence, medieval charm again, with castle ruins overlooking Saint-Tropez Bay.
Offers maybe a more authentic feel than some of the glitzier spots nearby.
Stone streets, pastel houses, artisan shops. Peaceful.
Yeah, quiet charm, great views, local character.
Egusheim in Alsace, voted one of France's most beautiful villages.
Apparently so. It has that distinctive circular layout around a central castle.
And flowers everywhere on the half-timbered houses.
Very photogenic. Plus, it's a big wine center. Riesling, Gewürztraminer. Lots of cellars to explore.
Beauty and tradition, hand in hand.
Seems like it.
Carcassonne, this one sounds epic. Best preserved fortress in Europe.
That's the claim. Those huge double walls, nearly 3 kilometers long.
Must be incredible to see, a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Walking through it must feel like stepping straight into the Middle Ages.
Immersive history.
Totally.
And finally, Rochefort-en-Terre in Brittany.
Capturing that authentic medieval Breton spirit.
Flower-covered houses again, ornate stone facades, a lively main square.
Sounds very welcoming. And apparently it's extra special during Christmas.
A fairy tale Christmas period, the source said. Enchanting.
Brittany does seem to have that fairy tale quality sometimes.
Well, okay. That was quite the tour, wasn't it? From like the scale of Paris and Versailles down to the tiny charm of Egusheim.
An incredible range. We went from the daily baguette to Mont Saint-Michel's grandeur.
Really shows the diversity packed into one country.
It does. Hopefully you listening have got a sense of those layers, the history, the culture, the landscapes.
It's a place that just keeps revealing more, doesn't it? Blends the old and new.
Always something more to discover.
So, after all that, I wonder what stuck with you the most.
Yeah, what aspect really caught your imagination?
Are you picturing yourself in those lavender fields now? Or maybe exploring Carcassonne's walls?
Or perhaps a food tour through Lyon.
Maybe this whole deep dive just made you curious about one particular region or a bit of history.
Whatever it is, hopefully we've given you some food for thought, a good starting point for your own French explorations.